Hello friends. Welcome back to Wonderfully Made, Bible Stories for Children. I'm so glad you're here. In our last episode, we began the story of Ruth. After losing her husband, Ruth made a brave choice. Instead of staying in her own country where life would be easier, she chose to go with Naomi and follow the God of Israel. Even though she didn't know what would happen, she trusted God and worked hard to take care of Naomi. Today, we'll see how God begins to use Ruth's faithfulness for something beautiful. Are you ready for the rest of this story? Let's jump in. Every day, Ruth went out to the fields to gather leftover grain so that she and Naomi could eat. She didn't complain. She didn't look for an easier way. She simply trusted that God would provide, and He did. The field Ruth worked in belonged to a kind and godly man named Boaz. He wasn't just any landowner. He was actually a relative of Naomi's family. Boaz noticed Ruth in the field. He had heard how she left her own country to stay with Naomi, and how she had chosen to follow the God of Israel. So, Boaz treated Ruth with kindness and made sure she was safe and had enough to eat. Time passed, and harvest season was almost over. Naomi wanted to help Ruth find a safe and loving future. According to the customs of Israel, a close family member could buy back land that belonged to a relative and care for their family. Boaz was one of those close relatives. Naomi explained this to Ruth and told her what to do. One night, Ruth went to the place where Boaz was resting after working. She respectfully laid down near his feet. This was not strange in their culture. It was a gentle way of asking, "Will you take care of me and our family?" When Boaz discovered Ruth there, he didn't push her away. He understood what she was asking and was honored by her kindness and faithfulness. Boaz promised to find a way to take care of her, but first, he had to talk to another relative who was even closer to Naomi's family. The next day, Boaz met with the other relative. The man decided not to take the responsibility, so Boaz gladly stepped in. Boaz officially took Ruth as his wife and promised to care for her and Naomi. Later, Ruth and Boaz had a baby boy named Obed. Naomi held the child in her arms and cared for him. Obed grew up and became the grandfather of King David. And many years later, Jesus himself would be born from this same family line. God used the faithfulness of one ordinary woman to become part of His great rescue plan for the whole world. Isn't that amazing? Ruth didn't know any of this when she chose to stay with Naomi. She only knew that following God and loving others was the right thing to do. God saw her faithfulness and used it for something beautiful and much bigger than she could imagine. Let's think about a few things together. Have you ever done something kind without knowing how it would turn out? What does this story show us about how God sees faithfulness, even in small things? Do you believe God can use your actions as part of His big plan too? Thanks for joining me today. Next time on Wonderfully Made, we'll start a brand new story about a little boy named Samuel, who learned how to listen to God's voice even when he was young. Until then, remember, you are wonderfully made, and God is with you every step of the way. Bye for now.